Hello UNC gamers, we are back again for a Week 5 recap with two of my favorite players and favorite teams. That'd be Hannah and Lune. Lune of the Land of Tunes and Hannah of the Mystic Monsters, I believe. This is an exciting match because these were both players who are, not entirely new, right? Lune is entirely new for this season and has very new to competitive Pokemon in general, but Hannah was a prominent player in the last season as well. So, it's very interesting. Always interesting to see two newer players come head to head. And this battle particularly I was looking forward to just because these are both very unique teams. Still newer players getting their footing. But I think you've really seen these two grow throughout the season, grow in their abilities and their skills. So I think it's very fun to get to see them both go up against each other. I know I had a lot of fun watching this match. So I imagine I have a lot of fun recapping it. Let's get started. Alright. A lot of good leads here. Okay, so Hannah goes for Chandelure. Not a bad lead. Can maybe be doing a Focus Sash or a Choice Scarf set. Lune sends out Gastron. Kind of an untraditional lead, but not bad. Unfortunately, it gets wiped out immediately by an Energy Ball from Chandelure. I know that is to Aiden, Nasty Boston. I know that's to Aiden Naughty Boston's dismay, because he specifically warned Lune, I was told, about having Energy Ball. But sadly, Lune just went for it. But it's a strong game on Lune's part. If he didn't have Energy Ball, that'd be a nice strong lead from Gastrodon, so can't blame her there. Brings out Salazzle. Not a bad thing to bring in, certainly against Chandelure faster than it, right? It looks like it's probably choiced into Energy Ball, right? So Lune clearly abusing that, taking advantage of the 4 times that Salazzle has to grass to get up a substitute. Hannah brings in Colossal, but by now Lune has the sub, so they can get the Toxic. Very nice. Colossal goes for a Stealth Rock. Not a bad move, but Salazzle's already working its stalling magic against Colossal, as we can see, so Hannah will probably need to switch out soon. Otherwise, she'll be fucked. Brings in Seismitoad. Not a bad bring-in, assuming this isn't some kind of niche Solar Beam Salazzle. Good bring-in, resists poison, resists fire. Can still get Toxic, though. And Lune can go for the Toxic here because they do still have the sub. Goes to the Toxic, makes sense. I don't know what Seismitoad will do here, but whatever it is, it'll break Salazzle's sub, right? Yeah, because like they do need to use Earthquake or Liquidation, and just went for knockoff, and that will do it. Because Salazzle is not the bulkiest, even with its stalliest set. So Lune's probably looking at a switch here. I don't know what the switching would be exactly. Oh, no, just substitute for more stalling. I guess that makes sense. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about that. Yeah, it doesn't really need to switch there because you got the Toxic, right? So Salazzle's going to do what it does best and probably go for substitutes and maybe a Protect coming up. Let's see. Yeah, Hannah maybe just kind of giving up on Seismitoad or just wanted to get more help on Salazzle before she switches, which makes sense. I don't think she wants to totally get rid of Seismitoad yet. Lune goes for Protect, but, Hannah switched. That does mean we can get an extra turn with Protect, but that is a little risky because Blaziken can always pull out a Sword Stance, but goes for it anyway. Respectable, since Blaziken can always be choice as well. Blaziken does go for the Earthquake, suggesting it may be choiced, or at the very least that it can blow Salazzle out if it wants to. But, yeah, it's weird, because if it's not Scarf, then Salazzle could stay out and maybe, Toxic it, but there's no point, because she's still going to lose to Earthquake. So it makes a lot of sense for Lune to go for the switch there into Gothitelle. Good switching. Interestingly, at the same time, Hannah goes for Chandelure, which really works out for her. I don't know why she switched for Chandelure there. Maybe I don't know if she was reading, planning a double switch. Or was like, oh, I bet she's gonna go Clefable or Gothitelle, so I'm gonna go Chandelure here. So very good read on Hannah's part if that was the case. Goes for a Dark Pulse. Kind of makes sense. It's as a coverage move, right? Because it hits things like Salazzle and Tauros the same, but at the same time, very weak and a little redundant with Ghost, aside from hitting normal. So, I mean, obviously, it worked there for what it needed to do, right? Hitting normal. But sadly, I think I'd generally just rather read the Fire or Ghost move and just try to get more power, because as you saw, that Scarfed Dark Pulse, what's likely a Scarfed Dark Pulse, did not do much. Seismitoad takes the Earthquake from Tauros without much effort. Hannah, expecting another one, goes for Rotom, but sadly, that does not pan out. Lune switches up the script by going for Body Slam, which does a good amount of damage, great amount of damage, better than you might expect to Rotom. So it's probably an offensive Rotom and one that cannot stand up to another Body Slam because it is not Scarf, and so it is taken out. Quickly and efficiently, Lune's first KO on Hannah's team. Very nice. pretty neck and neck at the moment. Brings out Chandelure again. Could probably go for a Fire Blast. Get some good damage. Goes for the Dark Pulse. Again, really no reason for that. It's not as strong as a Fire move would be because of Stab. Maybe Hannah was reading a Salazzle switch in or something, but that was just kind of unnecessary, right? Because you're just forcing the switch. Salazzle will take good damage from Fire anyway. And as you can see, Tauros gets great damage back. I'm surprised it didn't kill, so at least Hannah can count herself lucky there. We have that censored Babe, the Clefable come in. Fortunate double switch there for Lune because for some reason Hannah was switching Colossal into an Earthquake, but or at least what was an Earthquake last turn, maybe just to sack Colossal, which I get, it is poison, it's done its job laying rocks. But what Lune did by going into Clefable is managed to get what is clearly a setup sweep Clefable up against Colossal, who is too passive to do anything while dying of Toxic. Brings in Seismitoad, not a bad move, a little risky because he could get Moonblasted here, but thankfully Lune goes for another Calm Mind. It makes sense, right? Probably wouldn't be much reason to Moonblast the Colossal unless Lune was very specifically worried about a switch. So this means Seismitoad gets something. We already saw Knockoff, which would be a good move, but we actually see Poison Jab, which doesn't get great damage, but is actually pretty good because it clearly gets rid of the Babiri, not the Babiri Berry, the Akebia Berry, which was probably meant for Mega Beedrill and now allows Mega Beedrill to actually just check Clefable, which it wouldn't have before because Clefable would have eaten the Poison Jab and killed it back, maybe even sweeping Hannah's whole team. So good job from Hannah, good prep bringing the Poison Jab for the Clefable. To be honest, though, we can see that might have not worked out if it wasn't, not that it wouldn't have worked out if it was like leftovers, but like it did only to like 20%. So clearly that if it was the Poison Berry, it still might have not been able to break Clefable, but at least it did its job in terms of breaking that Poison Berry. And Knockoff could have done the same thing, so this ultimately it's a trivial matter. But yeah. So anyway, so Lune brought out Corviknight as their answer to Beedrill. Very good Mega Beedrill answer. Sadly, Hannah brings in Colossal and gets the Flame Body right away, which is really, really unfortunate for Corviknight because Hannah's team right now is really frail. But losing that power on Corviknight is going to make it so it can't threaten Blaziken with Brave Bird, really. It can still maybe threaten Chandelure because Chandelure is so low, but it can't threaten Colossal with Body Press. It can still manage Beedrill, thankfully, so it's not devastating to Lune. Corviknight can still do its job of dealing with Beedrill for at least a little while. It's like a good 77%, so that is always nice. I fell behind a little bit. Hold on a second. Sorry. So let's see. We had Brave Bird got burned. Salazzle came out, Colossal used Iron Head. Clearly doesn't have Earthquake or anything, or even a Rock move to hit Salazzle, so Salazzle gets the substitute for free. Very nice. Hannah brings out Blaziken, probably going to go for some more Earthquakes. Does get Toxic, though, unfortunately for Hannah. But the Earthquakes will come out here and at least... Oh, maybe not. Goes for a U-turn. There's apparently a Life Orb Blaziken. I don't know if I would condone U-turn there. I don't think there's any reason for Lune to switch, so I don't think U-turn would be the right call there. But at least it breaks a Mega Beedrill, which will probably be able to break the sub with another U-turn, is what I imagine it's going for, unless Hannah really wants to lose her Mega Beedrill, but I think she's smart enough to not do that. Oh, okay. Oh, wait a second. You know what? I'm sorry. I shouldn't get all condescending. I forgot that. I mean, this is the thing. The players playing the battle tend to remember more than I do, don't they? Because Lune has revealed that they don't have a fire move, so Hannah actually smartly realized that Beedrill was not under any threat and could just come in and attack. So that was good on Hannah there. I was going on autopilot mode there, being like, oh, so let's fire move. So Lune brings in a Corviknight, well and good, a good answer to good check to Beedrill. Takes a knockoff, takes way more damage than you'd like, but because of knockoff damage reduction for no item, Corviknight can take another knockoff here and take out Beedrill, hopefully, if Hannah doesn't switch. But for some reason, Lune maybe didn't realize this, switches out, which is really too bad because Corviknight's main job was to just check Mega Beedrill and loses Salazzle too, which is one of her most important Pokemon now, to be honest, with its speed tier and ability to protect stall. So really, I don't think that was the right... I don't think a switch was right, and I think that was a pretty bad sack. I might have sacked, like, Tauros, maybe? I mean, Tauros is good here, too. Maybe Clefable, because Clefable's kind of done its thing until Beedrill dies. I don't know, but definitely just switching out Corviknight in general was the bad play, because, right, even if it did die against Mega Beedrill, its job is to fight Mega Beedrill, so you shouldn't really sack something else. But also, it could take another hit and hit Beedrill the Brave Bird there, maybe taking it out of the game from the toxic damage as well. Brings out Tauros. Tauros also goes down because it is slower than Mega Beedrill, unfortunately. So Lune is kind of stuck here, is waiting for the Toxic to wear off. Brings back in Corviknight, but now the knockoff will kill, right? Before, it was at enough. It was at around 26, 27 where it could take it. Now it can't take the unboosted knockoff because it's just too low. But on the bright side, Pikachu takes even more poison damage, so at the very least, Lune is cleaning up her differential, their differential, even though it looks like we may be done here. Yeah. If it's got the Tele Protect, that'd be really nice to stop the Beedrill, but obviously it's just kind of Gothithel's work with limited space, obviously, so I don't blame Lune for not having Protect on there, because you really need to make the most of what you have. Goes for a Calm Mind, I don't see why not, fair enough. Maybe if can miraculously live like a U-turn from Blaziken somehow, but it won't, but like, let's just say it could, maybe it's faster somehow, maybe if Hannah's running, I don't know, negative speed Blaziken, like, yeah. But it's pretty clear that Gothitel's not going to be the one. Maybe Clefable. It wasn't bad of Lune to save Clefable, I'll say this. Even though I didn't like the Salazzle sack, because it looks okay here, like it can maybe win. That Blazing with the Life Orb backed Flare Blitz potentially is going to be a real problem. Lune's only chance of winning maybe is if it's like Fire Punch or something on the Blaziken, something weaker. Which might not be able to break through. But like, Clefable can certainly take Chandelure and Colossal, I would imagine. Especially if it's Chandelure's not Fire Blast, right? As we can see, Fire Blast would have gone through to a KO as long as it hit enough. But Flamethrower's not going to get it, and it would literally need a crit because Burns will not help. So Lune's just recovering, makes sense. That's what you want to do in these situations where you're taking just a bit under to a KO. You want to slowly recover over and over again until you get back. But Lune just goes right for. I don't really blame them. I think Lune's realizing that they can't win the war against the Blaziken. I honestly would have tried going for more softballs, but also then they have to deal with the crit. So I get not doing it because then you're just you go for the differential, right? If you just take that kill and don't try to go win the whole game, you can take the differential. I think Lune is in a position where maybe would have wanted to win the whole thing, but I think Lune is the type of person where they'd rather just take out more if the route to the win is looking very unlikely, which I don't blame them on, since I don't know if they're going to make playoffs anyway. Let's take a look. I just did the playoffs things a while ago. Lune. Yeah, Lune. Okay, yeah. See, Lune was close to playoffs, so I totally get just going for as many kills as possible there. Alright, excellent game, very good. I felt like my commentary was a little off, so I'm sorry if I said anything blatantly incorrect like that. The Salazzle thing was kind of embarrassing, where I was like, oh, Hannah, why are you bringing out the Mega Beedrill? Why are you using Poison Jab against Salazzle? And it's like, oh yeah, because it doesn't have any fucking fire moves. But, yeah, really excellent game, very fun. Great way to end the season. One of my favorite battles of the season. That might be my battle of the season. There was a couple mistakes, I suppose. Might be a battle with a couple less mistakes, but still, the mistakes are fun. That's part of what makes Pokemon interesting, is that you're always guessing what your opponent might do, and sometimes those guesses just go completely wrong or go perfectly, as they did several times in this game. A lot of very interesting double switches where I would have loved to know what both players were thinking, but honestly, I just can't quite crack that nut. I'm not a magician. But yeah, fun game. Alright, see you guys for the next one, and playoffs.